Jesus. Giving all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High God, in the name of His Holy Son, Hamashiach Yahushua. We are the Swords of the Spirit, coming to you with a Sabbath day class. We want to thank the Lord for letting us see another Sabbath. I want to thank the Lord for the saints that's out there pushing His word and truth. I want to thank everybody for tuning in with us. The name of today's class is Stay Diligent in This Truth. Stay diligent in this truth. It's a reminder course that we have to stay diligent in this truth. We can't get laxy-daisy in this truth. We can't get stagnant in this truth because it's always more to learn, more to do. We should be trying to level up at all times with the Most High. But the only way we can do that is we have to stay diligent in this truth. You just can't get the milk and be satisfied with that. You have to learn the meat too, especially if you're going to be a teacher, if you're going to be a leader in this truth. So we have to remind ourselves to stay diligent in this truth. The definition of the word diligent is having or showing care in one's duties or work. Having or showing care in one's duty or work. Study, earnest, and energetic effort. Being diligent is a sturdy, earnest, and energetic effort, meaning that every time you do it, you putting your all into it. And for the Most High, in His truth, that's what we should be doing every single day. We should not be getting slack in this truth, man, thinking that that's the end all be all. We done reached the point. We ain't reached nowhere, man. We still little children in this truth, still trying to be converted. Because if we was already there, Israel be in his own homeland right now. So we have to study, remind ourselves to stay diligent in this truth. That's everybody. That's man, woman, and child. Having or showing care for one's duties or work. And this is work, doing the work. So you have to show care in doing this, man. If it become a burden to you, then something ain't right. Because the Most High woke us up. We didn't wake ourselves up. Give me Hosea 5:15, Doc. Let's remind ourselves what the Most High God told us. Read that out when you got it. So we have to remember this right here. What the Lord told us when He was going on.
Hosea chapter 5 and verse 15. It reads, I will go. It reads, I will go and return to my place till they acknowledge their offense.
Till they do what?
Till they acknowledge their offense. And seek my face in their affliction.
In their what?
In their affliction. They will seek me early.
See, the Most High told us that He will go and return to His place. See, that's why a lot of our people don't believe in God right now, or don't believe in the power of God, or fear the Most High, because He returned to His place, but He gave stipulations. He said, until we acknowledge our offense, and every single one of us acknowledged our offense because we were seeking the Most High. And He said, and seek His face. In their afflictions, they will seek me early. A lot of people that came into this truth was tired of getting afflicted and chastised for doing things in the world, so we start seeking the Most High. We start seeking His face. So we have to remember that when we were seeking the Most High's face, then He showed Himself to us. We can't then come into this truth and then act like that's it. No, we have to diligently go after the Most High. Give me Baruch chapter 4 and verse 28. Because once we seek in His face, once He brings us to the knowledge of the truth, once He brings us to our true heritage, we still have to continue to seek the Most High God's face. And let's see how much we have to seek His face.
The book of Baruch, chapter 4, verse 28. For as it was your mind to go astray from God, so being returned, seek Him 10 times more.
How much do we need to seek Him?
Seek Him 10 times more.
He said, for as it was your mind to go astray, it was our mind to go astray from the Most High God. And then He bring us back to Him, He wake us up. and return us back to him, he says, seek him 10 times more. So when you in this truth, when you doing this work, you still have to seek the Most High God 10 times more. Because just imagine how far away from the Most High God you are and that we are. So we have to study, be trying to get closer, because the finish line is getting into the kingdom. The finish line is standing right there in that number. So there's no way in the world we gonna reach that staying stagnant or being sluggards. We can't reach that, because he said in all of our righteousness, we ain't nothing but filthy rags to the Most High God. So we have to continue to shed off that old man. Give me 1 Corinthians chapter 1 and verse 26. We have to shed off that old man. Because these people have already labeled us and made us bywords. So when we go out there, they already assuming that we are that old man, that we is that old man. But they got another thing coming. Read that out.
In 1 Corinthians chapter 1 and verse 26, it reads, for ye see your calling, brethren, how that not many wise men after the flesh, not many mighty, not many noble are called. But God had chosen the foolish things of the world to confound the wise. And God had chosen the weak things of the world to confound the things which are mighty.
Read on.
And base things of the world, and things which are despised, hath God chosen. Yea, and things which are not, to bring to naught things that are.
So the Most High letting us know that in our lower state, he still chose us. We were the foolish things. We were the weak things. We were the base things and the despised things. And in our lower state, he still chose us to do this work, to be his servants. So even in our foolishness, in our wickedness, he woke us up out of that, man. So we're supposed to forever be grateful to the Most High. That's why the scriptures say, examine yourself daily. Examine yourself. See if you still of the faith every day. Because people inch closer and closer away from it, further and further away from it, and should be inching closer and closer to it. So he chose us, the despised, the weak, the base things. We know that because that's how the people look at us. So in doing so, we don't stay at that level. We keep continuing rising. We keep being diligent. We keep becoming wiser for the Most High. Because they're going to look at these base things, these weak things, these despised things, and have another thing coming. Because they looking at us as those bywords, as those niggers, as those spicks, those, you know what I'm saying? And we are the messengers of the Lord of hosts. So as the messengers of the Lord of hosts, how can you continue raising up the sheep, lost sheep of the house of Israel, if you get stuck on the middle? Or if you get stuck on being late, and you can't teach nobody to be on time if you being late. You can't teach nobody to be at camp on time if you being late. You can't teach nobody to be in class on time if you being late. Understand me? We have to be the pillars. You know what I'm saying? We have to continue advancing. Because we are the leaders. We are the leaders of this generation. I give me 1 Peter chapter 2 and verse 9. And by us, the Lord choosing us to be his servants, he transformed us from that lower state into a royal priesthood, a holy nation. So how can you attain being a royal priesthood or a holy nation if you just found out you're an Israelite and you put some fringes on it, that's it? You don't want to teach no classes. You don't want to teach on the street. You don't want to study advanced in your learning. I'm just cool where I'm at. That ain't what we're supposed to be. We all supposed to be teachers. Even the women are supposed to be teachers. Teachers of other women. Teachers of children. Because this thing is supposed to spread like a virus. You know what I'm saying? It don't stop at you. Every last one of us has to spread this word. That's our duty. Every last one of us have to teach another person. But how can we do that if we stop and get stagnant? We can't do that. We have to continue to stay diligent. Read that out.
This is the book of 1 Peter, chapter 2, and verse 9. It reads, but ye are a chosen generation.
What are we?
A chosen generation.
No, we woke ourselves up.
A chosen
See
generation.
that word chosen? Chosen? chosen. That means if you are woke to this truth and you are in this thing as a soldier, as an officer, as a teacher, as a prophet, or whatever, you have a duty. And it's your duty to keep advancing in the mysteries of this book. To keep advancing in being responsible and being a leader. That's our responsibility. Don't sit back in the cut and wait for somebody else to do something. All of us should be leaders. We all should be the 300. You know what I'm saying? Read on.
Oh, read it on. A royal priesthood.
A what?
A royal priesthood.
Uh-huh.
And holy nation. A peculiar people. That ye should shew forth the praises of him who hath called you out of darkness into his marvelous light.
Because that's what we're supposed to be doing. When somebody see us, this royal priesthood, this holy nation, they're supposed to see the Most High. Because we represent him. He chose us to represent him. Do we want to give a lackluster performance to the Most High in representing him? That's what we did before, so we can be a laughing stock to the world and embarrass our God? No, we out here to represent our God. So in doing so, we have to continue to strive after that example, which is Hamashiach Yahweh, becoming that perfect man and loving our brothers and our sisters as ourselves. Give me 2 Corinthians chapter 4 and verse 3, y'all. So we have to strive to be that royal priesthood and that holy nation. With that comes diligence, comes responsibility, discipline, and study growing up. You know what I'm saying? The Lord said be converted as a little child. He didn't say stay a little child. He didn't say stay a little child when you get converted. He didn't say stay on the milk. You start off with the milk. Read that when you got it.
2 Corinthians chapter 4 and verse 3.
Because we could be like these people. Read that.
But if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost.
So if you're not lost and you know this gospel, you should be seeking the Most High God 10 times more. Because if it was hid, it's hid to them that are lost. Read on.
In whom the God of this world hath blinded the minds of them which believe not.
Lest what?
Lest the light of the glorious gospel of Christ, who is the image of God, should shine unto them.
So remember that word chosen? We all could be in darkness from this God of this world, which is Esau, if it wasn't for the Most High God shining his marvelous light on us. So we can't take that as a light thing. So when it comes to new moons, high holy days, Sabbaths, everything that the Lord commanded us to do, we have to be diligent in that thing so that we can show others and people that's up under us how to do it. Because people be watching. I can testify to that. People be watching, man. And when you've been doing this before them, they look at you as an elder. Even if you're a soldier, if they see you on their YouTube and you've been doing this for a while, they're going to be looking up to you, man. So they're going to be looking to see how you move. You know what I'm saying? So we got to always be diligent in this truth. Read on that. Oh, that's it. That's it on that.
Come.
Give me 2 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 1. So like I said, we should be thankful that we're not still lost in the matrix. That our mind still isn't blinded by the God of this world. That's a blessing, man. Knowing the things that you know now. Could you imagine being blinded still in this world? When we know we in Babylon. There's a lot of people don't even know we in Babylon. They just think they just living life. You got a chance of salvation. That's what knowing this truth do for you. Read that out.
This is 2 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 1. Now, select thou, therefore, my son, be strong in the grace that is in Christ Yahushua, that the things that thou hast heard of me among many witnesses, the same commit thou to faithful men.
Do what?
The same commit thou to faithful men.
So Paul is saying the same thing you heard about him, you need to commit to faithful men yourself. Read on.
Who shall be able to teach others also.
Who should be able to do what?
shall be able to teach others also.
That's the whole reason we learn this. And we don't learn it to keep it to ourselves. We learn it to reciprocate what we're learning to our people. Read on up.
Verse 3, thou therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of Hamashiach Yahushua.
Do what up?
Endure hardness as a good soldier of Hamashiach Yahushua.
Toughen up, man. Toughen up spiritually in this truth as a good soldier. You can't be a soldier and be weak in this truth and let every nagging thing in this world get to you and override what we have to do for the Most High. Because we soldiers for Hamashiach Yahushua. Read on.
No man that warneth entangleth himself with the affairs of this life.
Read that again.
No man that warreth entangleth himself with the affairs of this life.
When you in war, you do not want to have to worry about the things that's going on in the world. You don't want to have to worry about your girl, your children, your mama, because that will get you killed. The same thing when we warn for the Most High. We spiritually warn. We can't let these things of the world get in the way of us going to war for the Most High. That stuff gonna be here. But representing for the Most High, that's our duty, that's our job. So no man that warreth entangle himself with the affairs of this life. Read on.
That he may please him who had chosen him to be a soldier.
See, we trying to please him who chose us to be a soldier. He didn't have to let us be a soldier, but he chose to. So we owe him for bringing us off this matrix. Because I always wanted to be in the army of the Lord. They sang that song, but I really wanted to be in the army of the Lord. I didn't want to be in no army of no white man. That he may please him who has chosen him to be a soldier. That's what we're supposed to be doing. So you can't please nobody if you ain't being diligent. You know what I'm saying? Give me Proverbs chapter 4, verse 23. Proverbs chapter 4 and verse 23.
Book of Proverbs chapter 4 and verse 23. It reads, keep thy heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life.
Keep thy heart with all diligence. Keep thy mind with all diligence. Stay steadfast on these laws and commandments, because out of it are the issues of life. Like you say, no man warreth entangle himself with the affairs of this life. You cannot be worried about doing this work. We got to go to camp. We got to have class, but then it's everything scheduled, but then we let something get in the way of that. We have to let the Most High win, and everything else will fall into place, man. That's what being diligent for the Most High means. This stuff, this world ain't going nowhere. The job gonna be there, the bills gonna be there, but working for the Most High, it's a once in a lifetime change. Because there's people who lose that opportunity. What does it say? Many are called, but few are chosen. Many are called, but few are chosen. Go to Proverbs 27 and 23. When we doing this work, man, don't worry about the affairs of this life, the issues of this life. The Most High take care of all of it.
This is the book of Proverbs chapter 27 and verse 23. It reads, be thou diligent to know the state of thy flocks, and look well to thy threads.
Because as a leader in this truth, you have to stay diligent, because you have to be diligent to the flock. How you gonna help somebody if you ain't got your stuff together? You know what I'm saying? And we supposed to be able to lean on one another. But we have to have our stuff together first. If we a man of the household, then we're head of the household, we have to have our stuff together if we want our family to have their stuff together. Same for the school. If we want our stuff in order, the men have to start off in order. I have to be in order. And every subsequent man after that has to be in order. So it said, be thou diligent to know the state of thy flocks, and look well to thy herds. So being diligent in this truth and help you be able to be diligent to the flock, man. Because everything goes straight to the law, such commandments. That's how we deal with everything. Go to Galatians chapter 6 and verse 1. We have to be diligent for the flock. Like I said, because people have a lot of ups and downs. You know, one minute one brother be up, another brother be down, the next minute it's switch. And we have to be there for each other, man. We can't be selfish and just be for ourselves. We're going to be part of the flock, part of the congregation, that we have to be for our brothers and sisters. Read that when you got it.
This is the book of Galatians chapter 6 and verse 1. Brethren, if a man be overtaken in a fault, ye which are spiritual, restore such in one in the spirit of meekness, considering thyself, lest thou also be tempted.
See, that's why we have to be diligent, man. What if a brother fall down? We got to be able to pick each other back up. You see a brother going down, mentally, physically, emotionally, we got to be able to pick each other up. So, I mean, we have to be diligent in this work of the Lord. And read the next part out.
Verse 2. Bear ye one another's burdens, and so fulfill the law of Christ.
So when we being diligent to the flock, we bear ye one another's burdens, man, and fulfilling the law. Because that's loving your neighbor as you love yourself. Give me Matthew 23 and 11. We have to bear one another's burdens. So to do that, we have to be diligent in this truth, and diligent to the flock, and diligent to one another. Because you have to consider yourself. What if you go down? Ain't you gonna want somebody there that can help you up?
Right.
That's why the scriptures say two is better than one. But we always have to be thinking, man, can't worry about the next man. You have to think about you. I have to stay diligent in this truth. And you got to think, what if another brother say, well, I got something to do. And this brother say, I got something to do. But everything been planned out. We got to be diligent, man. Be like, well, you know what? I'm going to make sure I'm there. So we'll know that at least one person there. You know what I'm saying? And if we all do that, we all will be diligent and lockstep with one another. That's what the scriptures tell us, man. Read that out.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 23 and verse 11. But he that is greatest among you shall be your servant.
So us, we the greatest among our people. So we have to be a servant to our people. No matter how we feel, we ain't the Gentiles. We don't usurp authority over one another. We follow after Hamashiach and Habashah. So he came and been a servant. So we greatest among our people. We know we the Hebrew Israelites. We know we the kings of the earth. We know who our God is. And we know that we have to be a servant to our people. Read on.
Reading on. 12. It says, and whosoever shall exalt himself shall be abased, and he that shall humble himself shall be exalted.
Because the one that want to exalt himself, I promise you he ain't been diligent. Because if you being diligent, you ain't going to have to exalt yourself. Your work going to speak for itself. So since you going after vainglory, you going to be abased because everybody going to see it. Because this thing work off spirituality. It work off of works. It don't work off of what you want to be. It work off what you're doing for the Most High. You know what I'm saying? So he that is greatest among you shall be a servant. So to be the greatest among us, we have to be diligent. And in being diligent, we are servant to lead the people down the same path that we trying to go down. Right? Give me 1 Maccabees chapter 3, verse 41. Let's show you what the mighty men of Israel did. They knew they was the greatest among them. So let's see what they went and did. Oh, brother Judas Maccabees. 1 Maccabees chapter 3 and verse 41.
It's the book of 1 Maccabees, chapter 3 and verse 41.
This is what the greatest among them did. They didn't go hide in the corner, go sell out to the white man. This is what they did.
It reads, and the merchants of the country, hearing the fame of them, took silver and gold very much with servants, and came into the camp to buy the children of Israel for slaves.
For what?
For slaves. A power also of Syria and of the land of the Philistines, joined themselves unto them. Now, when Judas and his brethren saw that that miseries were multiplied, and that the forces did encamp themselves in their borders, for they knew how the king had given commandment to destroy the people and utterly abolish them.
What they do?
They said one to another, let us restore the decayed estate of our people, and let us fight for our people and the sanctuary.
What did they do? I'll read that again.
They said one to another, let us restore the decayed estate of our people, and let us fight for our people and the sanctuary.
So that's what the mighty men of Israel went and did in that time. Our people was going into captivity. They had the mental shackles on them just like they do now. They seen the decay of our people, and they said, let's go restore. Let's restore the decayed estate of our people, meaning let's raise them back up. Let's make them bethink themselves. Let's remind them who they are, so they can get back to doing the Lord's work. So as mighty men of the Lord, that's what we're supposed to do. Let's go and restore the decayed estate of our people. We don't hold the knowledge, we keep advancing in the knowledge. So that when the people keep trying to come against us to take the word away from our people, we can combat them in any kind of way. Give me Isaiah chapter 61 and 1. Because when they went to restore the decayed estate of the people, this is what they went to do. And remember, they was in slavery like we in slavery now. So they was dealing with the same mind state.
This is the book of the prophet Isaiah, chapter 1 and verse 1. It reads thus and so. It says, the vision of Isaiah, the son of Amos, which he saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem in the days of Uzziah, Jotham, Ahaz, and Hezekiah.
That's 61.
Oh, Slack, 61. Slack, Isaiah, chapter 1 and verse.
No, chapter 61 and 1.
Oh, Slack. It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 61 and verse 1. It reads, the Spirit of the Lord God is upon me, because the Lord hath anointed me to preach good tidings unto the meek.
So that's what we want to do, preach good tidings to the meek. That's what Judas Maccabees was telling the people. You got to preach good tidings to the meek, to the poor. Read on.
He hath sent me to bind up the brokenhearted.
The brokenhearted, because when you don't know who you are, who your God is, where you come from, that makes you brokenhearted. That's why people say they don't give a F about nothing. They really brokenhearted. That's why we can go to them and be like, who hurt you, brother? Who hurt you, sister? Because we all done been through some stuff. Read on.
To proclaim liberty.
To do what?
To proclaim liberty to the captives. And the opening of the prison to them that are bound.
Because like Christ said, ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. That's what we go. We got to break those mental chains first off the captives. We can break those mental chains, make them bethink themselves, make them seek the Most High God's face, then they can get back to freedom, man. Read on up.
Verse 2. To proclaim the acceptable year of the Lord, and the day of vengeance of our God, to comfort all that mourn, to appoint unto them that mourn in Zion, to give unto them beauty for ashes, the oil of joy for mourning, the garment of praise for the spirit of heaviness, that they might be called trees of righteousness, the planting of the Lord, that he might be glorified.
That he what?
That he might be glorified.
All this is for we can glorify the Most High. Waking up the lost sheep of the house of Israel so we can show the praises of him that brought us out of darkness into his marvelous light, so that we can glorify the Most High, man. It's all about the Most High. It ain't nothing to do with us. It's all about him. Give me Romans 13 and 11, huh? So when we go out here and teach this word, we got to proclaim liberty to the captives. We got to teach them who they are, who their God is, and how to love him, and how to worship him. That's how you proclaim liberty to the captives. You give them direction. You give them history. of themselves. That's what our people is lacking. That history, where they come from. But our history is sitting right here in this book. But you got to be diligent in reading and studying it also. Everything with being an Israelite has to do with diligence. Read that.
The book of Romans, chapter 13 and verse 11. And that knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep.
That's what we want to tell our people. That's what we telling our people right now. That's what we telling people that's woke. But they ain't go back to sleep in a minute and forget that you got to love your neighbor as yourself. Now it is high time to wake out of sleep. Quit nodding off. Stay woke. Be diligent. Read on.
For now is our salvation nearer than we believe.
Because how long we get into this truth and then start slacking off in this truth when our salvation is nearer than we believe? That don't make no sense, man. Don't take your hand off the plow. Give me Proverbs chapter 6 and verse 6. Proverbs chapter 6 and verse 6. I like this scripture right here.
It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 6 and verse 6.
Read.
It reads, Go to the ant, thou sluggard. Consider her ways and be wise.
Go to the ant. Now, sluggard. Now, ant is not sluggish. The ant work. Ants put in work. They work together. They got order. Everybody got their jobs. Everybody know what to do. Consider the ant when we doing this, man. That's how we supposed to be. We got our head. We got our marching orders. We got everything that we supposed to be doing. All we got to do is consider the ant. Oh, thou sluggard. If any sluggishness, any idea of, I don't feel like doing something the Most High commanded us to do, you better check your spirit, man. You better check your spirit. Read on out.
Come and be wise.
And do what?
And be wise. Which having no guide, overseer, or ruler, provideth her meat in the summer, and gathereth her food in the harvest.
Because she ain't gonna wait. They're gonna be working on that right now. That's what being diligent means, getting ahead of the game. Not waiting till the last minute. A sluggard, wake up, gotta get up at 8 o'clock, gotta be there at 8:30. That's exactly what they're gonna do. Ain't gonna get up no early. Ain't showing up early. Get there right on, just in enough time. Might be a little late. But that ain't gonna be there early. They ain't got no time to waste. It's life and death depending on it. Read on.
It reads, verse 9. How long wilt thou sleep, O sluggard? When wilt thou arise out of thy sleep? Yet a little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to sleep.
So that's why I say, now it is high time that we awake out of sleep. This truth is going around the whole earth. Everybody gonna be a witness. And this message for people in the truth. Don't go to sleep in this truth. Stay diligent. Do more for the Most High. Don't do less. Do more for the Most High. Give me Proverbs 12 and 27. Because remember, we were bought for a ransom. I'm pretty sure all of us in here still owe the Most High tenfold of what we done paid them back. Probably more.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 12 and verse 27. The slothful man roasteth not that which he took in hunting, but the substance of a diligent man is precious.
So let's say a slothful man roasteth not that which he took in hunting, because a slothful man ain't gonna go hunting. He gonna go scavenging. He gonna try to steal something, because he ain't gonna want to go hunt. He ain't gonna know how to go hunt. He'd rather be lazy. But the diligent man, the substance of the diligent man is precious, because, like I said, a diligent man gets ahead of the game. A diligent man be on time, be early even. You know what I'm saying? A diligent man think of things that need to be done before anybody else thinks of it. And that's how all of us have to be. We have to all grow into that, because we are to be leaders of schools one day, because that's what the school is for. To make teachers, to go out and make more teachers. You know what I'm saying? We got a lot of work to do. So a slothful man wants not that which he took in honey, because he's not going to go hunting. But the substance of a diligent man is precious. You're going to have an abundance, just like that ant. The ant's got an abundance. But they ain't going to never stop hunting. They ain't going to never stop looking for food. Give me Proverbs 13 and 4.
Come on, this is the book of Proverbs, chapter 13 and verse 4. It says, the soul of the sluggard desires and hath nothing.
You know the people that talk about it, but don't be about it? And they talk a good game, but what the action at behind it? You know what I'm saying? That's what I like what Marshawn Lynch said about that action, boss. You gotta be about that action. You just can't desire it. You gotta go get it. Read on.
Come on. But the soul of the diligent shall be made fat.
But the soul of the diligent shall be made fat. Because you don't always go get it. Like the definition of diligent, having or showing care in one's duties or work. Study, earnest, energetic effort. So then you always on go. For this truth, we should always be on go for the Most High. Give me Luke chapter 9 and verse 62. Luke chapter 9 and verse 62.
It's the book of Luke, chapter 9 and verse 62. It reads thus and so. It says, and Yahushua said unto him, no man having put his hand to the plow and looking back is fit for the kingdom of Yahweh.
So this is Hamashiach Yahushua himself. Just like it said in Timothy about no man warreth to tangle himself with the affairs of his life. No man putting his hand to the plow and you looking back at doing his work, the Lord said you ain't fit for the kingdom of heaven because you keep worrying about these earthly things, these worldly things. When he told you, it is the spirit that quickens, the flesh profiteth nothing in this place. So it's better to worry about the spiritual things because that'll profit you than these carnal things of this world. So out of Yahushua mouth himself, no man having put his hand to the plow, meaning started doing his work, and then you looking back at the world, study worrying about back there instead of looking ahead, how can I advance in this truth? How can I be a better teacher in this truth? How can I be a better leader? He said, is fit, looking back is fit for the kingdom of heaven. No man having put his hand to the plow and looking back is fit for the kingdom of heaven. That's tough, man. Because you should only be looking towards the kingdom of heaven. Not worrying about the things you did in the world back in 96. What's that gonna do you? Oh man, in 2003, man, I used to sell all these big time dope, man. Now in 2022, we pushing big time scriptures. That's what we should be worried about. You know what I'm saying? Give me Hebrews chapter 10 and verse 38. Two more. Hebrews chapter 10 and verse 38. Matter of fact, start at 36 now. When you got it?
It's the book of Hebrews, chapter 10, starting at verse 36. It says, for ye have need of patience.
You have need of what?
Of patience.
Because don't get bumpy, man. You have your ups and downs in this truth. But you have your ups and downs in the world. So I don't know what people be thinking about, like, it's supposed to be perfect in the truth. No, it's life. So you got to have your patience. You have need of patience. Read on.
Reading on. It reads that after ye have done the will of God, ye might receive the promise.
That we do what?
Might receive the promise.
Because that's what we're trying to get, the promises that the Most High God set forth for us. Read on.
Reading on. It reads, for yet a little while, and he that shall come will come, and will not tarry. Now the just shall live by faith. But if any man draw back,
If any man what?
draw back, my soul shall have no pleasure in him.
So if you draw back from this truth, you start regressing from this truth, you can end up becoming a reprobate, man. You start pulling back from this truth. That's why we should be seeking him 10 times more. Because you'll be showing the Most High what you're really about. And this ain't nothing to be playing with. Read on.
Fine, verse 39. But we are not of them who draw back unto perdition, but of them that believe to the saving of the soul.
But we ain't the ones that's going to draw back to perdition. We got to keep pushing for the Most High, because we got to be trying to help save these souls. The same way it was people out there for us to help teach us this truth, we got to be like that for other people, man. But if we don't be diligent in that, then that's one less soldier that'll be out here to help to push the movement. Give me Hebrews chapter 6 and verse 11. It's the last one.
Hebrews chapter 6 and verse 11. It reads, and we desire that every one of you do shew the same diligence to the full assurance of hope unto the end.
To win?
Unto the end.
To win?
Unto the end.
So it says show the same diligence unto hope unto the end. So we shouldn't be waning down. We shouldn't be getting tired, because we ain't got nothing else out here in this world, man. This all we got. Read on.
Reading on. It says that ye be not slothful, but followers of them who through faith and patience inherit the promises.
Read that again.
That ye be not slothful.
Be not slothful,
but followers of them who through faith and patience inherit the promises.
So like our forefathers who had faith and they had patience, we need to be like them. And we need to be examples for the people coming up under us by having patience and faith, so they can see that living example, man. So we have to keep our diligence in this truth, so we can be a shining light to our people that's out in this world, man. It ain't just the fringes, but it's our actions, it's the way we carry ourselves, and it's the knowledge that we have. Because like the Lord said, this is our knowledge, wisdom, and understanding in the sight of the nations. So we have to diligently be working on this craft, man. This is a profession. Con?
Con.
Con?
Con.
Con?
Con.
All right, give me. Back here, me. The book of Leviticus. Chapter 19 and verse 11.
The book of Leviticus chapter 19 and verse 11. It reads, ye shall not steal, neither deal falsely, either lie one to another.
Read on.
And ye shall not swear by my name falsely, neither shalt thou profane the name of thy God. I am the Lord.
Read on.
Thou shalt not defraud thy neighbor, neither rob him. The wages of him that is hired shall not abide with thee all night until the morning.
So that's 3 laws that we shouldn't steal and deal falsely with one another and lie to one another. We shouldn't swear falsely by the Most High God's name, and we should not defraud our neighbor, neither rob him of wages when we have hired him. We need that law in Israel, because if you don't, you'll have some Negroes try to get on you every time. And know they owe you some money and won't say nothing. So I hope we got some edification on that refresher course. We're going to stand diligent in this truth. Once again, I say giving all honor, praise, and glory to the Most High God in the name of His Holy Son, Hamashiach Yahushua. Hallelujah.
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 Hallelujah. Who's the Father?
Yahweh.
Who's the Father?
Yahweh.
Who's the King?
Yahweh Shah.
Who's the King?
Yahweh Shah.
Who's the King?
Yahweh Shah.
Praise.
Who needs snakes eat?